Because how many people are you going to explain what you are experiencing, what you are going through?
Exactly.
How many times? I say Christmas. I'm okay, Christmas.
That's what my wife will always say.
You understand?
Christmas is sweeter in Nigeria than in the UK.
Yeah.
She's always saying.
I'm telling you.
Christmas start to marry káàkiri lọ kí àwọn èèyàn lé wọn. Lákàn máa jẹun káàkiri. Àti lọ lẹ́wọ̀n àlàbí. Ilé àwọn ògùn ìwé yìí lọ.
I'm telling you. You know, in 2023 November, after 6 years I'd been away, I came to Nigeria in 2023 November for my mom's 70th birthday.
Yeah.
So I was there. I only spent 8 days. When I was leaving, when I was coming back to the US, I was like, God, look at my country. Mo tún wá ń sọ wípé àbí àwọn èèyàn kan ń parọ́ fún wa pé gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà exactly. People are balling.
Till now, I see that I'm wondering what people so about.
I was like, some of my colleagues I left in Lagos. One of my friends I left in Lagos was the guy who picked me from the airport. Like, I said, Dolo, you guys are balling. Like, you could see live.
Yeah.
You know, if they're going like Isuya, it was very Isuya. You know, all those people go, oh my God. Yeah. So looking at it, it's I probably would say to anyone, if you have the chance of coming there, come. If you have the opportunity of migrating, do both. You will get to a point in your life when you will know and understand that it's not all that matters. Migration is not all that defines us. There are a lot of things about life that we probably would not get coming to the West. Probably. So even when I got married and, when I was in Lagos, every time I wasn't going to work on my Saturday, on the weekends, my wife, she's aware of my schedule. Once I have my breakfast by 10, by 11:30, 12, I'm at a man will book now videos viewing center. So I'm at the viewing center and I'm going to watch 3 games.
Arguing Arsenal.
Even when Arsenal is not playing, I'm there to argue. So when I'm there, they know me. Even not only when I was in Lagos married with a family, there's one very viewing center very close to my house. By 12, so by 12 on Saturday, I'm there. And I'm going to watch all 3 games until maybe 7 p.m. Then 7 p.m., I get home, have my food, spend time with the family, then go to bed. On Sunday, I'm a worker in the church. I always get to church by 7. Even when we finish service by 12, I hardly left the church until about 2. We still had different, always in different groups, different groups meeting, all of that. So by 2 p.m. when I was going to do a lot of things, when it's like, I probably would go to, maybe we sleep, maybe, or watch TV or have guests. When it's 5 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, I'm outside my gate. Mo ń gist pẹ̀lú àwọn bros street. Àbí kí n lọ́jọ́ kò ti bàbá ká máa sọ̀rọ̀ ká kọ́ máa gist. So that is my way of life. So
what I would just want to ask is, when you got to the US, did you experience any culture shocks all over? Because you had already gone to Germany. Can you recall any culture shocks you experienced when you got to the US?
So like I said, when I got so anytime I move into a new environment, any city, I always want to look for a Nigerian church.
Yeah.
It's always like the best support system that we have.
Yeah, it is.
So when I moved into the US, that December of 2015, I was able to locate a Redeemed church, and that was it for me. But by the time I started the program in January 2016, I experienced a whole lot of difference in like the culture shock. One of the things is this, that I remember my first paper that I wrote for my supervisor. Is a class assignment given to you maybe on a Friday, due on Sunday evening, and the professor returned it back to me, and the first email that I got, is your English is bad. I'm telling you. He said your English is so bad. So he now said, come to my office. So I now went to his office and he was telling me like he understood everything that I wrote. But everything I wrote was more like I was still writing for a Nigerian professor. He said, like, you didn't even know the spelling of, these
British spelling and English, American
British
spelling.
spelling and yeah. Just hold on.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah, the British spelling and the American spelling. Yeah. So the professor told me like your writing is bad. I said, come to my. So when I got there, he told me like, look at this. We don't call it, For example, if you want to say
Garbage, trash, or which one?
trash, close the door.
Bathroom. Oh, close the door. Okay.
They don't say close the door. They say shut the door.
Shut the door.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to write color, is one
Yeah.
no you, no anything.
No you. Yeah.
So I now realized that the laptop that I brought from Nigeria, by default, the Microsoft Word was a British default spelling.
Yeah.
So I didn't change it. My laptop did not realize that I've left the British, that I'm in the US, right?
Yeah.
So everything that was suggesting to me more like an American way of writing, I discarded it. So the professor was so mad at me that, no, you said you have done a master's in your country, and why are you still writing this way? So the second time, he said, okay, go and rewrite the paper. So when I took the second paper back to him, he said, did you give somebody this one to write for you?
Oh, but no,
I did it. I did a correction. So he now said, oh, I think maybe you guys were trained in writing because he got to discover when an American writes or when an American talks, it's different from the British way. It's way different. So from the way I was writing it, it could sound the British way of writing. Then America, for example, Nendamalo or do.
Yeah.
You probably will never see or do in their work. Maybe you say like, oh, do. They never use or do. So so that was what he was speaking from. So that was the first shock that they made me feel like I was I didn't know anything about English. Even though I knew, a bit of that.
Yeah.
The second part of it for me was Americans are not these people who are way spiritual.
Yeah.
I met real Christians in the US when I got to the US. In my first few months, you probably would never know these folks are real Christians. They are not the set of people that probably go to church Mondays, Wednesdays, Sunday, anything. But when you see one of them that is very, is a Christian, they have a way of correcting you in a very friendly way. They tell you like, do you know Jesus loves you? Jesus will not even take that from. So that's one of those things I saw about them that I really respected and all of that. Yeah.
Not judgmental.
not judgmental. And maybe the last thing I probably would say was the accent, which so I could easily understand the white Americans when they speak, but I couldn't understand the African American ones, the black ones. So
what do we call that?
So those black Americans, when we engage them in conversation, they would tell you speak bad English or you have an accent.
Yeah.
But the white ones will tell you we speak good English. So the shock for me was, why would black people have a problem understanding what we say, and the white ones easily understand what we say?
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that probably like took me by surprise.
Yeah. I mean, I want to go back to that. Two things you mentioned. Church.
Yeah.
That has also always been my own support or community group everywhere I've traveled to. First time in Germany, before I even left, I had already communicated with the church. I had not even met anybody. I told them what was coming. Same in Italy. I remember when I went to do my PhD in Italy, it was a church member who actually came to pick me up from the train station. Well,
Yeah.
no, not from the train station. It was okay. So I took a train from the airport to the train station. But when I went to first time in Germany, it was a friend. I mean, a Nigerian who was not a church. It was not even a church going person who came to pick me up from the airport. But I really want to go back to the one about your supervisor or your lecturer.
Yeah.
And that's also at times where I think academics also have to be very, very be willing to learn about others and not just feel others should adapt. And why am I saying this? My PhD supervisor, and I will always appreciate her. She made me enjoy my PhD. First time we met, she said, "You're the first," maybe because of that. She said, "You're the first Black student I will be supervising. So I need to learn more about you. I need to know." So she didn't make any assumption about what I should have known and what I shouldn't have known. She just felt, I need to know more about you. I need to learn. She said, while I will be your supervisor, I will also be learning a lot from you. And even after my PhD, she said, I learned a lot from her. And for me, it's always humbling to hear that. So I guess your supervisor just felt, anybody coming to I mean, that lecturer, anybody coming to the US should be able to write the American way, the American way. No, you should. And that's one of the things with migration at times, understanding people and where they're coming from. It's really important. Question, I mean, I just want to throw this in and then go back to some of my questions. What do you miss about Nigeria?
Oh, I miss a lot. I miss a lot of things. Because I probably would tell you the life I live now is not my normal life. Yeah.
Whose life is normal when you're not living in Nigeria?
So it's not actually my normal life. The
After
reason why,
spending over a decade in the US, you're still
yes,
saying that. So what's your normal life?
so this year makes it my 10 year. I left Nigeria, but this is who I am. I'm this kind of person growing up, right? I'm this kind of person that I don't like being at home. I don't
I
like
know.
sitting at
I
home.
know you. Never met you at home.
Oh yeah, when I was growing up, I probably would go and sit down in Toasting's Jagged's house
Yeah. Or
or
this
my
other or Lu Akisali.
Oluwakitali,
There's this
yeah.
other guy. Maybe this Alec Bomber, but maybe I don't know. Some of your friends,
Oh
Shala.
yeah,
You always say,
Yakubu in Kajola.
yeah,
I'll
Yakubu.
probably so even when I got married and when I was in Lagos, every time I wasn't going to work on my Saturday, on the weekends, my wife, she's aware of my schedule. Once I have my breakfast by 10, by 11:30, 12, I'm at a ibi that man will book in our videos
Viewing center.
viewing center. So I'm at the viewing center and I'm going to watch 3 games.
Arguing Arsenal.
Arguing Arsenal. Even when Arsenal is not playing, I'm there to argue. So when I'm there, they know me. Even not only in Ondo, when I was in Lagos married with a family, there's one very viewing center very close to my house. By 12, so by 12 on Saturday, I'm there. And I'm going to watch all 3 games until maybe 7 p.m. Then 7 p.m., I get home, have my food, spend time with the family, then go to bed. On Sunday, I'm a worker in the church. I always get to church by 7. Even when we finish service by 12, I hardly left the church until about 2. We still had different, always in different groups, different groups meeting, all of that. So by 2 p.m. when I was going, Timothy Daily Para, do a lot of things. When it's like, I probably would go to maybe we sleep, maybe, or do watch TV or have guests. When it's 5 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, I'm outside my gate. Mo ń gist pẹ̀lú àwọn bros street. Àbí kí n lọ jókòó ti bàbá ká máa sọ̀rọ̀ ká kàn máa gist. So that is my way of life. So, but when I got into the US, even with my family with me, it's not the same. Because this is it. Like, you go to work, you go to school, then you are back. Weekends. So the only thing that keep us going, for me, the only social activity that I have is the church.
Exactly, me too.
That's the only thing that I have.
Yeah.
when I'm at home, what we're doing, we are on social media. We are on
Yeah.
YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm
Yeah.
on WhatsApp. I'm on.
Exactly.
That is not me.
Yeah.
No, that is not me.
So maybe what I should ask is this. First thing is, what do you miss? Sorry, no. Do you miss Nigeria? That's the question.
Yeah,
So
the life, the Nigerian
yeah.
life,
And the
because
next question
yeah.
is, sorry, what is it that we take for granted in Nigeria that we that are no longer Nigerian now appreciate that we are
Oh
missing?
yeah, yeah.
I want you to
Yeah, I probably would not mention the food because
really, because you
it's
can
a
get it.
you can get it in the US, even though it might be
Yeah,
more expensive, but you can
yeah,
get it. Like the food chain, it's easier these days. Like
yeah.
you can get okra, ewedu, whatsoever. So I
Even
never.
especially here in the UK, because UK is just 6 hours away, so people are
Oh yeah.
bringing it in. And I mean, when I was in Germany, when I was in Italy, and right now in the UK, I still do not eat European foods. And
Oh
most
yeah.
times people look at me like I'm awkward. I mean,
Oh
because
yeah.
I have Nigerian foods I can eat, so I can understand what you mean by
Yeah,
saying maybe
yeah.
not food.
So
Yeah,
not the food, not the food. It's
yeah.
our culture.
Mm.
The Western society is very individualistic.
I mean, you're a
Yeah,
sociologist, so you,
yeah, very, very no community life, no social life.
yeah,
Even your next when you live in an apartment, the person living opposite to your apartment, you don't even know
yeah,
them.
yeah,
They don't
yeah,
even talk to you. They don't even
yeah,
do anything.
yeah.
So I'm not that kind of person. I'm this kind of person. When I was in Nigeria now, in fact, the people we lived in the same building when I was in Lagos, we still keep in touch up to today.
Wow.
Because they could easily come into my flat,
Yeah,
play, I could
yeah,
easily go in. So that is the way life I was used to.
yeah,
I'm this kind of person who wants to get involved with people. Then
yeah.
I got to this place where the only people you get involved with are maybe members of your church, Nigerians. You see them after service, and that is it.
Exactly, exactly.
When you get back home, you are back into that your solo life,
Yeah,
boring life. So what I
yeah,
miss about Nigeria is the community,
yeah,
the
yeah,
public outlook outward, or
yeah.
those things I really miss. Then
Yeah.
the other thing I would say I miss about Nigeria is this. Owambe. Oh my God.
True, true. My wife this December was saying we should organize ourselves. I mean, call other Nigerians. Let's do it for ourselves. This one, but let's just pay.
Yeah.
But it was too late when the idea came. That's what was, and we still managed to do something in our living room. Even we still call the people. I'm still dance. Yeah, exactly.
My 40th birthday party was in my living room.
Okay,
Imagine
my
I
wife.
was imagine I did Nigeria, I want to do 40.
Abi.
You know, I'm a mansion now. You know
Show
those
my
things.
now yet.
You know it. there are times I'll just play. In fact, for 3 years, 2021 to 2024, every morning that I went to church, I will always play La Olubenjo Alujo. I would deliberately go and take a longer route because because I want to dance in my car until I get to church. That was how bad I missed the Nigerian vibes,
Yeah,
the alujo, the party,
yeah,
the all those things. Because
yeah,
in America, you probably would see a Nigerian party, but
yeah.
maybe one in every 8 months, once in every 9 months,
Yeah.
and
And for me, some of the parties are parties I cannot go
yeah,
because of the kind of alcohol
uh,
and the thing they will be doing. In Nigeria, there are different Christians do their own one bit too. And
yeah.
but I see some of because I think American Nigerians party a lot. And I mean, my brother is one of them. So, so you see the kind of party they're doing, and I wouldn't even be able to go to that kind of party.
Oh yeah, yeah. There can never be any place like Nigeria. To be
I
very
agree
honest,
with you. I
there's
agree with you.
today I'm grateful for where I am. I'm grateful
Yeah,
for everything God has done.
yeah.
But I still envy those people who live in Nigeria, right?
Exactly.
I envy
Exactly.
some people think maybe um maybe this is not the above they used to know that I've changed.
Yeah.
That maybe I doesn't want to relate. It's not like
Yeah.
that.
Cold,
It's
Kosaye.
Kosaye, number one. Then number two, it's more of a defensive mechanism, right? Like you just hibernate and keep your head.
Man,
Because how many people are you going to explain what you are experiencing, what you are going through?
Exactly.
How many times? I say Christmas. I'm okay, Christmas.
That's what my wife will always say.
You understand?
Christmas is sweeter in Nigeria than in the UK.
Yeah.
She's always saying.
I'm telling you.
Christmas starting America káàkiri lọ kí àwọn èèyàn lé wọn. Lákọ̀ọ́ máa jẹun káàkiri. Àti lọ lẹ́wọ̀n àlàbí. Ilé àwọn òkú ìwé yìí lọ.
I'm telling you. You know, in 2023 November, after 6 years I've been away, I came to Nigeria in 2023 November for my mom's 70th birthday.
Yeah.
So I was there. I only spent 8 days. When I was leaving, when I was coming back to the US, I was like, God, look at my country. Mo tún wá ń sọ wípé àbí àwọn èèyàn kan ń parọ́ fún wa pé gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà exactly. People are balling.
Till now, I see that I'm wondering what people so about.
I was like, some of my colleagues I left in Lagos. One of my friends I left in Lagos was the guy who picked me from the airport. Like, I said, Dolo, you guys are balling. Like, you could see live.
Yeah.
You know, it very much like Isuya. It was very Isuya. You know, all those people, oh my God. Yeah. So looking at it, it's I probably would say to anyone, if you have the chance of coming there, come. If you have the opportunity of migrating, do both. You will get to a point in your life when you will know and understand that it's not all that matters. Migration is not all that defines us. There are a lot of things about life that we probably would not get coming to the West. So that my brother like Tunji, for example, there's nothing you can tell him to leave Nigeria. I would never.
Like that's my dad also.
He would never.
My dad would never.
He said I can always go around for visit, but to stay there, he would never.
Yeah. And I also tell people, I said, if some things, if there are some conditions are met, I don't mind moving back to Nigeria. I said to my wife earlier this month, if certain conditions are met, I don't mind going back to Nigeria. I'll just be moving around anytime I want to move around. I understand.
Let me quickly say this. People don't understand that life is hard.
Yeah.
Overseas.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't.
But people say US is easier than the UK.
I probably would not say. I've never lived in the UK. I've never been to the UK, even though I got a visa that expired with me that I never made to the US to the UK. But this is what I would say is this: when you want to migrate to anywhere in the world, it probably would. I've been there since 2015. It has taken me close to about 10 years to actually say confidently that I've now integrated into the system.
You have integrated me. I've not integrated because I've not spent many years.
You know what I'm saying? I've been in the US since 2015, and it wasn't until this August this year, just 4 months ago, 5 months ago, that I had my first job in the US.
Yeah, because you have been studying also.
But people don't understand that.
I know, but because if you're a PhD student in America, they see you as a graduate assistant or graduate lecturer, and they feel that's work.
But people don't know that. How much are they paying us? They were paying us about $2,100 every month.
And you have to combine it with your study.
You have to combine with your study.
So you're busy all the time.
Another thing is, if you are earning $2,000 in America in a month, you are living below the poverty line. You understand? It's like people expect you to be flashy, to send them money, to do all those things.
Yeah.
But how many folks are you going to explain to that are, people came to the US not about just 2 years ago. they've done a whole lot of projects in Nigeria. They've done this, they've
Yeah,
done that, they've done this, they've
yeah,
done that.
yeah.
It's never like that.
That was
Yeah. So I
I
probably
know.
would tell people that if you want to migrate, ask yourself, why am I going there?
It's important.
Yeah. The number two
How,
is, at what age are you going there?
exactly.
It's the
What's
best
your
for
plan?
people. Yeah, it's the best when you're living when you're 20.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. I know
But
what
when
I'm
you are
saying.
coming in your 30s and you are
Mm,
coming to the US,
yeah.
if God is on your side, probably might take you like 5 years to get fully integrated. But in my own case, it nearly took me 9 years, 10 years to even
Yeah.
think that, okay, now I have some form of stability.
Yeah. And
That's
I
the only
also
thing.
guess it's because you want to go into the academia.
Yeah.
Because if you had wanted to do some other jobs,
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
above, because and it goes with what you've said, have a plan. What is your aim of going? Is it
Yeah.
just to go and make the money to spend every 30 December,
Oh,
or
yeah.
to have a purpose that you want to achieve? What's my purpose of living?
Yeah.
Is it okay? I want to be in academia and I need to go through the process. People without a plan, for example, might get a PhD and then just drop out at the end. Talk about the really woody at the end,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and then later on, oh, we might to Paris PhD. I should have completed that PhD. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's true.
agree. So,
No.
I want us to compare some things. How is it? How is parenting in the US? How is it compared to Nigeria?
Oh, yeah. So, for me, mine might not be the best example because I was raised by a single mother. You know,
Mm.
I
So no, it's not even that.
no,
That's I wasn't saying.
no,
I'm talking about discipline.
no. That's, I know the question you asked. I just want to lay
Yeah,
that foundation. I
yeah.
was raised by a single mother, and you know, and raising
And the
five
community,
kids
not just the single but the community.
at the community. So raising five kids for my mother,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She knew what could happen if she never properly raised us.
5 kids, 4 boys,
Four
one
boys and a
girl.
girl, yeah. So if you never really properly raised us in a very strict, tough
Yeah,
way, right?
yeah, yeah.
So she knew my mom right from the on. She knew what she wanted to achieve with the kids when she was divorced. The plan for her was drop them in the church, make them grow up in the church, and then use a very tough, iron hand, forceful way of raising them,
Yeah.
right? Even though among my siblings, I mean, must be a little bit tougher for my mom,
Olenu.
but if not for my mom's very strict toughness on me, I don't know how it could have been.
Mm,
So that was what I knew growing up of raising kids.
mm,
So raising my own kids too, I now started raising my kids in the way my mom raised us,
mm.
such that the only thing I wanted from you is go to church, don't miss Sunday school, be in the church. Then when I'm home, I'm this kind of, I remember the way my mom used to, scream, shout, Ibati, bang, 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 bang. That was why I was raising them.
That's the, even though
Mm.
I mean both my parents raised me, my mom did
Yeah,
that, my dad wouldn't do.
yeah,
If 40 mom, and my
yeah.
mom also I mean
So,
loyalty. I
yeah,
think
I was raising them that way until one day my second child, my daughter, the only girl that I have, came to me one day after I moti nogo apale lára ẹ̀. So
what
she
in
came.
Balawa in the
No, it
UK?
coincidentally was the time of break. Oh, they
Oh,
were not in school, so it was one summer. So she came to my room and said, "Daddy, I'm truly sorry." He said, "But Daddy, my friends in school told me their parents don't beat them or scream at them. Hey, you know, she's then she was 7. The way she spoke that morning, I felt so bad.
you were
Like,
convicted.
I'm telling you, pé, oh my jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ ṣe yẹn was not the best.
You bring a hangover from your
That was
childhood.
that was the day I changed and I started raising them more in a friendly way
Mm.
and not in a very tough dad. Before, you cannot watch TV, you cannot use phone. That was the way I was, So when Mushit said that to me, right? Because their mom is always like pampered. They might think about your mom is so easy on you. I have to like be this on them. So when my daughter told me that I had to change. So these days I raise my kids, it's okay, negotiation, let's negotiate this. You cannot watch TV during the week, except maybe 2 hours before bed, right? Go and watch and go to bed, right? Or go and study, go and do this. Oh, daddy, I've studied, it's time for me. So we now have a routine more like a negotiation, which when I was raising up, I had no,
Was
you
it
cannot,
negotiation?
oh, they negotiated, yeah. But the first 5, 6 years being a parent in the US was in the very tough way in which I was raised. But in the last 2, 3 years, it has been more of a negotiation.
Mm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's good because here in
Mm.
the UK, I mean, we don't even, especially for us immigrants, we don't even know what the law states. Can you
Mm.
spank? Can you not spank? We're not sure. At times, some people spank and then they get into trouble for spanking, and then the other times they say you can spank, but do not leave a mark on the child. So it's a bit tricky for us as immigrants, and I mean, I am the no spank. I mean, it's better to err on the side of caution than. Well, I
Yeah.
see a lot of people say it's a bit difficult to raise children outside of Nigeria because it's easier to instill discipline in them in Nigeria
Mm.
than outside of Nigeria. But then there are also counter arguments that some of the things we also call discipline in Nigeria are way too much.
Oh
Some
yeah.
of them
Yeah.
can even border on child
Yeah.
abuse.
Yeah.
So it's the tricky that tricky terrain of raising children
For
outside
example,
Nigeria.
for example, when I was growing up, if I offended my mom, she probably would not make dinner for me. There were
Mm.
nights in which I went to bed without food as a form
Yeah,
of discipline.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't want to do that, right?
exactly.
You don't want to do that. So
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
different. Yeah. So
Yeah. I mean, two questions before we finish. If
mm,
there are no other questions
mm, yeah.
from what you say,
Mm.
the first question is, what values did you learn from Nigeria that helped you in the US? Now you
Oh,
know that this thing I'm doing here and why I'm doing it is because of those things I learned from Nigeria.
oh, I'll talk about two things. Um, church and
Yeah,
church and school and college that I went to. So
mm.
those are the two places I got my values. For
OAU or Unilag, which one?
OAU all the time.
Africa's most beautiful campus.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you the very examples. So growing up in Foursquare, introduced me into a whole lot of things. Daddy Reverend Oshodi, made me like a president of
Yeah,
of of teenager
Ogawa.
of teenagers that they entrusted me to teach Sunday school at that time.
Yeah,
And those things around then, everything I learned in those spaces in the Foursquare
yeah.
church as a teenager youth really helped me in different places that I went.
Yeah, you
Right.
told me even when you were in Nigeria that they wanted to make you a deacon, but you
Oh
said you were
yeah.
not going to be baptized.
Yeah.
Or was it a pastor? You refused to be baptized
Yeah.
but because they had seen that
Yeah,
training.
exactly. Exactly. They wanted, we did baptism in 1996, and they wanted to do baptism for me. I said, no, would only do this once, right? They were going to make me a parish pastor. They called me and announced, I said, no, I'm not called for that. Yeah, so my values to today are values I learned from from the church, from Foursquare Gospel Church, about commitment, loyalty month. You have to be in the church early in June when it rains. All those things, all those values. I always remember the word of Baba Romolashi, Apeleyin yo padanu ijoba ọ̀run. So I'm always the first person to get to church now these days, right? I don't, so a lot of people see me. I could be different person with my friends. I could be public. I could be on this. But when it comes to church, I've never left that part of my life. It's been like that continuously, and so those values are there. I even when I was in Ademi, like when I was in Ademi, I have never told a lot of people about this. They gave us a room in Olunloyo then, and we decided to abandon our room. We now moved to the attic in Olunloyo, the penthouse. There was nobody there, common room, a large room. So myself and 3 other guys, we are colonized, man, right? Do you know one thing with the 2 guys I was moving with, I was the 3rd person, they will come to our room and smoke and drink alcohol, drink all kinds of stuff. Do you know these are friends? We move together. I said we leave campus, we go to Lagos, we do all kind of stuff. Do you know one thing? These people were really scared of me in the sense that, I was never for once tempted to ask them, let me drink from what you are drinking. I never asked them, like, let me. So, do you know what? That was when Auntie Folake and Brother Ezekiah was holding the Foursquare Campus Fellowship in Adeyemi Primary School. When it is during the week, I'll just pick my Bible and I will go there. So every time I came back to the room, they were like, I don't sorrow, I don't fight, but boy, So it was not that I did not have interest in what they were doing. But every time I remember the preaching of Daddy, the sermons, the values, what they've trained us to be as teenagers, that was what God used in saving me, right? So,
and you took that to the US as well.
I took that to the US. Another thing about college Ife, when I got to Ife, I was lucky to get into a campus fellowship in fact, that was what changed probably my destiny, I probably would say. Student Christian Movement. SEM. So I was the coordinator for my setting when we first got into foundation school in first year, right? But in my fellowship, right, there are 2 values that we had, which is high level of spirituality. We had pastors in fellowship who could speak Greek, Hebrew, who could preach Hebrew, Greek. I remember a pastor one day who preached on a sermon. I will never forget that sermon till today. He wanted to talk about how, despite the fact that Moses had a good relationship with God, but yet he missed on the promised land because of his lack of discipline. Shall I tell you what Pastor Deepo titled that message? Revelational exactitude, attitudinal exaction.
A physics student.
He was a medical student. So I was in a fellowship in which excellence was the main thing. So in our church, in the fellowship back in OAU then, the only thing they discuss is, well, were you sound spiritually? Are you one of the top guys in your class? So when I was in that fellowship, it was always a challenge for me to meet up to the standard these guys have raised. Excellence, God, all of those things. So it was that place that changed my whole orientation about life. That there are some values you cannot trade off. Relationship with God, academic excellence, striving to be the best in any space you are. Right. So those are values that I probably would say I've kept him up to now that I still do in the US. The values I got from church and even my family values as well. In my family as well, I'm lucky to have brothers who lived the example, who give a pathway. Like people don't know something about me and my siblings. When we're growing up, even though we're boys and we're all kind of close, we never discuss about women. We never discuss about anything like that. The only thing we discuss in my house is sports and politics, right?
I know.
So those were the only things. So I'm from a family in which our values are kind of way more too serious kind of outlook, more academic, more seriousness in life,
Yeah,
and all of that. Combining that with those values I got from going to Ife and the ones I got from being a member of Foursquare Gospel Church. So that I
yeah.
probably would say has been helpful.
Wow. I mean, and I agree with you. Times starting life in Nigeria and then moving to another country really, really helps. I think many children, for example, our children were raised in another country might not understand some of these values unless we consciously instill these values in them. And the final one, it's just, I mean, it just came out of the blues. It's
Oh
nothing.
yeah,
It's because we're both in academics
yeah.
together. What do you think about AI in the use of AI in universities right now? That's my final question. Like I said, just came out. What do
Oh, yeah. I think we've come to live with AI.
Mm,
We've come to live with it. In my university now, where I teach as a professor, as an assistant professor, the dean of my college is integrating AI into our curriculum. So starting from January, they are going to select some classes in which we are going to, introduce AI. So we're trying to negotiate with a. I don't have to say this on. That's why I said I don't want to go on IG because I have some
yeah.
of my colleagues who, some of my people following me. So part of what they are trying to do is they're in negotiation with an AI company in the US. So because they know what we've experienced, like what I've experienced, even when I was teaching here as a PhD student and now with a full time, is this: our students use AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, when I was doing my dissertation, I use AI. But my AI when I was doing my dissertation was when I was running my statistical analysis. Then I was writing my codes. If I write a code I wasn't sure of, I would ask AI, please help me validate, is this code right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So people use AI. So, but what we are now interested in is the ethics of AI. We don't want
Yeah.
people to
Exactly.
abuse. We don't want people
Yeah.
to abuse it. So, what
Yeah.
our school, my college, is trying to do now is we want to integrate AI into Canvas or Blackboard. Where if you give students an assignment or a project or a paper to do, we are going to tell them go and use AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go and use AI, but these are the system that we are trying to do now is we are creating we call it Google Box. So we're trying to find all these different AI, DeepSeek AI,
Yeah.
ChatGPT,
Yeah.
Cloud
Perplexity.
Perplexity,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah. All
them
of them.
get
Yeah.
integrated into a system.
Yeah.
So when we give you an assignment or a paper to write, put your work into this AI and allow these different AI models to generate results for you. Then you compare their results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do with AI in my school right now. The number two is this. We realize that AI is not good for you to generate literature review, right?
Exactly.
There are
Yeah.
times in which students generate reviews and
Yeah.
the references they give do
Yeah. They're
not actually
false.
exist. They are false. The
Yeah.
paper are not
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
what we tell people now is your ability to be able to give AI the right prompt. Once you get that right, then you need to go back to the normal, research database and and
Exactly.
check it out. Yeah,
Exactly. That's
yeah.
also what I tell students.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But
Exactly.
we've come to live with AI.
Yeah. But do
That
you think some of those your professors in the way you will accept
oh,
it?
they probably would not. The way we do. For example, I'm going to give you an example. This semester, not only this my new school, when even I was a PhD student, the 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 pass. For example, if I had 80 students in my class, I used to teach all those big classes. If I had 80 students in my class,
It's too
76
large. Wow.
76 of because when I was in a PhD program, my school, the sociology classes were like electives.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people come in to take those our one-on-one classes, and I used to teach, different sections of those. So, for example, if I had 80 students in my class, 75 would have an A in my class.
Wow. A is for God. You don't know that. B is for me. And C is for the best students.
Let me tell you when I was in Ife. From year 1 to my year 4, I probably would tell you there were just only 2 courses I had 80 something. I'm telling you, maybe 85 and 183. All of the courses that I did, even the ones I got an A, is almost like 70A or 71 or 72.
Yeah.
So that was how tough it was, borderline A. You understand? So now these days in my class in America, even when I was a student in America, professor gave me 97, 99, 100. I've done a paper before they gave me 100, 100.
That's a mistake. This.
That is never going to happen in Nigeria. No matter
Never.
what you write, you can never get 100, 100.
Yeah.
Now in my class that I said people are getting A's, the average grade is 94, 95.
Wow.
Because the American system is this. There's always a rubric.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you do this, you earn your 20 points.
Yeah.
If you do this, you earn your... So the students are so smart enough that everything you told them to do, they will do exactly. So where do you want to write? Your 1 point.
Exactly.
So it's the rubric.
Yeah.
So know the expectation of the professor.
Yeah.
And once you follow it, we're able to give you everything.
Yeah. Maybe that's also one of the values you also learned in Nigeria, to be tough. And so you were getting borderline A, but when you got to the US and you were smashing it. Maybe Nigeria.
But you know one thing? The fact that Nigerian trained us that way probably is the best. See, I don't know about other countries. In the US, any program, any department you see a Nigerian, that Nigerian would always be one of the top 3 in his class.
Yeah.
Even if that person graduated with a top class in Nigeria, you will always be part of the top 3 in your class.
Yeah.
No matter where or no matter what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
like when all the schools I've been in the US, they always look at me and maybe this guy is a geek, maybe this guy is a smart guy. Mama would walk on me, demonstration. Do you know something? I told somebody. Do you know the most competitive class I'd ever been in my life was my class in demonstration in secondary school. I'm telling you, the class in this demonstration, that's SS1A to SS3A. In that class, oh God.
Because I used to follow you, so I would be with you, you'll be talking with your friends.
You see, in those class, no, up to now, that's why I do tell people this, that the probability that one is going to be successful in life, outside of the God factor, the next thing is your performance in secondary school. I'm telling you, these folks in my class, I told you, I probably could tell when we're 50 of us that go to SS3. I probably would tell you that I probably would not even put myself in one of the top 25.
Wow.
That was how bad the guys in my class were. They were. I tried at one point, but there's no amount you want to compete with these guys. Because what demonstration did back then was to select the best students across different public schools. So, when you come to my class, somebody might be the best student in chemistry. He would not be the best in physics. He would not be the best in further maths.
Yeah.
Do you know the very funny thing? The best student in my class in further maths was not the best student in maths. That was how bad it was in my class. So up to now, when I look back into secondary school demonstration and look at that my class, that was the most competitive environment I'd ever. When I was in OAU in my class, maybe I probably would put myself in top 3. And other spaces I've been in Unilag in the US, I probably will always put myself in top 3. But that my class in secondary school was when I said, guy, I could count on my hands. I want 20 alaye to yẹ only one channel like anything.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I used to
yeah,
admire your
yeah.
classmates then. I would
Oh
just be
yeah.
with you, just listening to them.
Oh
You
yeah.
gave me access to be able to listen to some of them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one
There
of
was
them really liked me. Kí lorúkọ my boy. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Gbénga, ọmọ
oh
doctor.
Yemi.
Yeah, me.
Oh
Yeah,
Yemi is a professor in the US.
he really liked
Yeah,
me then.
he practiced medicine for a long time in Nigeria. Then he moved to the US as a professor. Even
Wow.
this guy in my class as well, Shewa Jai, Finole. Yeah, he's
Definitely.
friend to Dayo Dada. Maybe they are
Yeah,
related. Yeah, Shewa is
yeah,
a geek. That guy is a genius.
yeah, I know.
Tell.
Yeah.
SS1 ló ti pass wa heck.
Wọ́n wá sọ fún wa gbọ́ ẹ̀ náà. Yeah, bàbá
So
akéwìtì rẹ̀.
yes,
Wọ́n wá
many
sọ
of them.
assembly.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I don't want to even mention my senior boy, Nauru, a smart,
yeah,
very jig, Mamkuyomi, very smart,
no,
Lanre, Oloshunde. We
yeah,
have this other guy, Musiliu, Oladoshi. He's a doctor.
yeah.
He's a consultant in the OAU teaching hospitals. He was our best student in
Really?
further maths. Yeah, he was.
Wow.
That guy is a natural, we have Kutei,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
smart guy.
yeah.
In fact, during that class, there was a term in which SS2 chemistry, the person who got the prize in chemistry had about 97. The second best had about 96.5.
Does he at all?
0.5 nothing man for one leg.
Mr. Olabisi Abitaka Adeloko.
No, Mr. Olabisi did the local chemistry. You understand? We had another guy, Kunlema Mukuyom. That guy is a genius.
Yeah.
And do you know one thing? All these people I've mentioned, if you go check where they are today, all of them are in top places globally.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
So that was how competitive that class was. Very competitive. Even folks who were not even in the top 20, maybe probably the next 10 or 15 candidates out of the first 20, they were very competitive as well. Very smart guys.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm grateful to God, grateful to my parents that allowed me to, even when the money was not there, they allowed me to attend some of the top schools, right? That probably had an influence. Today in the US, if when I dropped out from ADME in 1999, if anybody told me I would be able to pick myself up and I would end up being a professor in the US, I probably would argue.
But I knew it because I saw you and I always respected you. I always looked up to you. So for me, it was not in doubt. I felt you felt this was not enough for you. This was not what you wanted. That was how I saw it. So I never doubted you.
Yeah, it was carelessness.
I didn't know, but I just thought it was not enough for you.
There's a very thin line between failure and success. That asking me, I was almost close to the other side. It was a very thin line. Was a very thin line, right? So, and that, if I had never experienced that, and do you know one thing? Ever since that time, I had never waited to get anything in life.
That's the thing. That's what.
I've never been out of job.
Yeah.
I went for NYC. I was retained. I changed jobs again.
Yeah.
Then from one school, I've never one day been out of job.
Yeah.
Or anything I wanted to do. I've never experienced something like it. The reason was, apart from mercy of God, was my experience in ADM raised that consciousness in me that everything you have to do, you have to do it to every sense of seriousness. Because if you fail to do it, it probably would result into what you never wanted to have. So that was the experience for me. So both is interesting, yeah.
Wow, I mean, I've enjoyed every bit of this conversation. That's if we should not stop. I basically love listening to you. Maybe one of these times we'll still talk about something else. One of these.
And you two, yourself too, in demonstration, I think, your set was a very, very great set as well, because one good thing is I have a lot of friends in your set.
Yeah, you were friendly with
Bro,
everyone.
yeah, yeah. I had a lot of friends that or that were classmates in primary school,
Yeah,
and I know a whole lot of folks in your class, and they are
yeah,
very smart as well.
yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
Wale
Uh,
Fajano, I met Wale in Ife. Wale is
yeah.
very,
While just practicing
yeah,
law now in Abuja.
pricing
Yeah,
law, yeah.
yeah. All of
Wale Olasende,
Ola saying there. I think he's in the
yeah,
UK now.
yeah. So I know a lot of
Yeah,
folks in
yeah.
your,
I mean, there are
so
a good
yeah,
number of
yeah,
them. I say
mm,
around.
yeah.
Ọmọ kí ló ń gbórúkẹ? Ọmọ bàbá Ìlàdẹ̀mí, ọmọ P bàbá. Ahmed Olóyèdé.
Oh, Ahmed. Oh, yeah, Ahmed.
Ahmed
Very,
Olóyèdé.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ahmed. I
Yeah,
met you.
Tunde.
I met you be a doctor. Tunde as well. Tunde Christopher Motunde. Yeah,
Yeah, Tunde
yeah.
about
Do
to,
you show
yeah,
my
and then
to one thing? We have an alumni group, which
it,
I
I
serve as
don't
the
know.
PRO. Oh, you have? Oh,
We
wow, that's
do.
great.
No, it's not really active. I want actually we still interact, but
Oh,
I think some of them hard. But I'm on that set only.
yeah,
So why
yeah,
shouldn't we have? And
yeah,
we pride ourselves
yeah.
because we were the first
You
set
were
that
the first
started
set.
from JSS
Okay.
one
Yeah.
to, so we pride ourselves as a special. That's a
Yeah.
special set. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
enjoyed it. And I hope those who will watch and listen will really gain a lot of things from our talks. And researchers who might want to use our conversation as data and
Oh, yeah.
migration,
Oh,
they
yeah.
should. I mean,
It's
they'll find something.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
they would find a story of a guy who God has helped,
Yeah,
who has received the mercy of God,
uh,
regardless of the early mistakes he made.
yeah,
God was able to give him a second chance to correct those
yeah,
mistakes. So
yeah.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so very much.
Dr.
Thank
Shodi, was
you.
nice talking to you.
Nice talking to
Ex-
you too, Dr.
expect me in
Above.
expect me in the UK anytime soon. Let's
Anytime. You're
enjoy my
welcome.
first
We're ready
Saturday.
to host you. We're ready to
Okay.
host you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kusiwala. Yeah,
Later
regards.
now.
Okay, my
Yeah.
regards to your family.
Yeah, mine to yours too.
Yeah.